Good morning and happy Saturday to you. Thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Morgan Young, and we are following two big stories in North Texas. Today, we are expecting a decision about whether Carmelo Anthony will get a new trial. The judge will make this decision after days of new evidence and arguments. The former Frisco High School student is serving a 35-year sentence for the killing of Austin Metcalf at a track meet last year. We will have much more on this in just a few minutes. Our other big story, this extreme heat. Y'all, we could see near record temperatures across North Texas today. For some of you, it might be just best to stay inside. We want to start with meteorologist Mariel Ruiz. Mariel, we were just talking about the potential for that record.
Right. We could tie a record today. We get close to a record tomorrow. We could break a record on Monday. So 3 days of this intense heat. But guess what? Yesterday, only 99 degrees.
Okay, we did not get to triple digits. Okay.
Yeah, we had this, it's called a gust front. So basically, the outflow of a thunderstorm that helped cool things off, if I can say cool things off, did not allow for some temperatures to reach the triple digits. But today, the extreme heat warning in place again because the potential for a gust front to come through, well, that's a bit less likely, although we do have a slim chance for rain. And we do have heat alerts for all of North Texas today with extreme heat warning. That's the pink that you see there. That does include DFW and surrounding counties. This is for high temperatures over 105. Up to 108. Outside of that, where you see the orange, those are heat advisories that are in place for high temperatures of 103. Either way, dangerous heat is expected today. We make it to 105 on your Saturday with a south wind at about 5 to 10, about 10% coverage of rain. That means most of us will not see the rain, but it's possible to see a little pop-up out there. 106 for the high on Sunday after starting the morning off at about 83 degrees. Right now, we're looking at 84 degrees at DFW, but it feels like 86. Winds are out of the southwest. And you see that cloud cover overhead. That cloud cover is actually coming in from Oklahoma. And a lot of locations are already warming up quickly. We're at about 86 degrees in Sherman and Gainesville, 84 in Decatur, 79 for Denton and in McKinney. Today, temperature will climb even with the cloud cover in place. So you'll see a mix of sunshine and cloud cover. Temperature expected to be at about 105. There are a few things that could limit us from reaching the triple digits. Rain is one of them. So I'll talk you through what that could look like. And also, we'll show you some of those record-breaking heat coming up in just a little bit.
Back to our other big story this morning. We expect a judge to decide today if Carmelo Anthony deserves a new trial. In June, he was convicted of killing Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Frisco last year. This week, prosecutors and defense attorneys introduced disturbing allegations about both Anthony and Metcalf. And as Kevin Reese explains, this evidence was evidence the jury did not hear.
The chance of free Carmelo on the courthouse steps came after 2 days of evidence excluded in the first trial. WFAA senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez.
We've heard some really shocking testimony, quite frankly, from both sides, and incidents from both the Metcalf twins and Carmelo Anthony.
In an attempt to have the first trial focused only on the fatal encounter at the track meet in April of 2025, a gentleman's agreement between the lawyers did not include that the victim, Austin Metcalf, and his twin brother received 12 months probation for hateful and racist graffiti, were accused of bullying a black student, and a suspension about talking about potentially bringing a firearm to school. And that Carmelo Anthony's violent rhetoric included text messages that threatened an ex-girlfriend. "How many bullets you want coming out of your chest" was one of the texts. And in October of 2024, a text included, "Okay, I'd kill that N-word. When I stab SB, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade." Attorney Jeremy Rosenthal watched the final day of testimony.
I don't think it's stunning to anybody who's watched any part of this trial that the truth is a lot more complicated than we originally thought. And unfortunately, it's a lot uglier than we originally thought. Is it more one-sided than the other? Is it a wash? I think that the public, I think we know a lot more today than we did going into this.
Judge Michael Chitty is now reviewing the 2 days of testimony and all of the new revelations that were not included in the original trial. His decision on whether it warrants a new trial for Carmelo Anthony is expected by late Saturday, a decision that each side, if it doesn't go in their favor, promises to appeal. At the Collin County Courthouse, I'm Kevin Reese.
And here's where this case can go after today. If the judge denies the motion for a new trial, Anthony's attorney can appeal to a higher court. If a new trial is granted, prosecutors can appeal that ruling. So either way, this case could continue to play out for months or even years. You'll want to stay with WFAA as we continue our coverage today. As soon as the judge makes his decision, we will bring it to you right here on air, online, and on our streaming app. In just a few hours, funeral services will begin for longtime North Texas Congresswoman and former Fort Worth Mayor Kay Granger. She was the first female mayor of Fort Worth and spent nearly 3 decades in Congress. Granger died earlier this month. Her funeral starts at 11 a.m. at First United Methodist Church of Fort Worth, followed by a private burial service on Monday. Meanwhile, funeral services for a North Texas Marine are also today. Aiden Craig died earlier this month during Marine Corps training in California. Last night, friends and family came together for a vigil to honor Craig. He graduated from Wiley High School back in May before joining the Marines. Craig died after suffering a medical emergency during his training at Camp Pendleton. Friends and family want him to be remembered by the fact that he wanted to join the Marines. That was his dream, and he really wanted to serve his country.
He was such a captain of the team. Everyone looked up to him. He just inspired others to be better, push themselves past the breaking point, and everyone saw that from him.
Funeral services start at 2 p.m. at the Cottonwood Church in Allen. Well, new this morning, one person is dead after a house fire in DeSoto. This happened on Spruce Woods Circle, just west of I-35E yesterday. According to a Facebook post from DeSoto Fire Rescue, firefighters found one person inside the home. That person was taken to the hospital but did not survive. Details are limited. The cause of the fire is under investigation. We are working to learn more today about an American Airlines plane that made an emergency landing at DFW Airport. That flight was coming from Atlanta. Officials tell us smoke from a customer's device filled the cabin. That flight landed safely and taxied to the gate with no issues. One customer received medical attention but was released. Well, right now, a 50% tariff increase on Canadian goods is in effect after talks between the U.S. and Canada fell apart. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says both sides were making progress on a deal to push back the tariff increase from the U.S., but no agreement was reached. He also added Canada will match those tariffs dollar to dollar. The new tariff will affect energy and critical minerals from Canada.
I'm Jason Whiteley. Republicans brag that they are the ones looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. But it was a Texas Democrat that has now uncovered issues at the state government level. These are inside the Texas Education Agency. State Rep Ana Maria Rodriguez Ramos got the state to pay for an audit of the TEA. The results back this week, and this has a lot of educators talking. The audit shows the TEA is a bloated bureaucracy. Lots of managers, far more than state regulations allow. One supervisor for every 3 employees. And with more managers on the payroll, the audit said, that came with bigger raises as well.
Absolutely. There's a 64% hike in salaries in management. So the current rule is it's 1 manager to every 11 employees. And if you're going to have to reduce that amount, you have to ask for a waiver and explain why. Well, Morath has not done that. He has just moved forward, hired 1 manager for every 3 employees and increased his management, while at the same time schools are closing across the state.
We did reach out to the Texas Education Agency, and it told us that the audit was, quote, extremely clean, pointing out, among other things, that no taxpayer dollars were misspent. There is another significant political story, though, going into the weekend here. A big development in the U.S. Senate race between Ken Paxton and James Tallarico. The Cook Political Report now predicts this race is going to be a toss-up, no longer one that leans Republican. So what does this suggest about the next 60 days of campaigning? Go inside Texas politics with us Sunday morning at 9 on WFAA, or stream it for free right now on WFAA+.
Now let's get to 3 things you need to know this morning. Dallas County health officials confirmed the first death from our dangerous heat. The county's Health and Human Services Department says the victim was in their 50s with pre-existing medical conditions. If you are going to be out in the heat today, stay hydrated, take frequent breaks, and try not to be out there for too long. Another North Texas school is set to close. In a post on Facebook, Little Elm ISD announced plans to close Little Elm Elementary at the end of this school year. Officials say this decision was driven by budget challenges, declining enrollment, and the school earning a D accountability rating for the 4th straight year. DeSoto ISD's interim superintendent has resigned after 6 months on the job. Brent Mitchell announced this move on his LinkedIn page. He said while the district faces financial challenges, he is grateful for the families, staff, and community who stepped up in support. Well, your time right now is 8:10. New developments in a deadly wrong-way crash that shut down a Fort Worth highway for hours. What we're learning about the victims and how their loved ones are remembering them. And a new poll is highlighting the growing concerns over data centers as more states are addressing the issues with this boom. We'll have more on that at 8:35.
And the extreme heat making headlines yet again today. However, a few of us could see some rain. I'm going to show you where the rain is now and how that could impact our highs. That's all coming up when Weekend Daybreak continues.